I got broads in Atlanta. Just took the lean in the family. Credit cards and the scammers. Hitting the licks in the...
With his ability, his mouse wheel up for me, which is his fire ability, the damage one, you can shoot it at range. I didn't even know that, dude. So apparently you can... Bro, I didn't even know that. Imagine, hypothetically, this could happen a lot, right? Imagine someone plants the bomb right there. Behind the thing. And they're holding it. They're holding on the bomb site. I can go like this, pull up my gun, and headshot them if they try and peek out. It's like throwing a nade. So I didn't realize, like, this is really, really good for just, like, zoning people. What exactly is counter-strafing? Alright, so counter-strafing is where, just so you guys know, there's 3 different ways of moving in this game. There's crouching, where your crosshair is, like, really accurate. There's walking, where it's a little less accurate. And then there's running. And you see how inaccurate my shot is? Well, counter-strafing is where you're running around the corner. Like, right? I'm running around the corner. But as soon as I go to shoot, I hit the opposite direction. So, I'm sprinting to the right, shoot, hit left. Shoot, move left. Shoot, move left. Shoot, move left. Shoot, move left. So you're, like, canceling all your momentum by going the opposite direction. And your shot is completely accurate. So, if someone is, for example, this is really, really important. If someone is holding this angle right here, like this, and he's ready for me to peek, it's much, much, much easier for him to shoot and kill me if I'm walking around the corner like this. But if I wide swing, fast, and then counter strafe, it's way harder for him to shoot me when I'm over here moving quick than it is for him to slowly, you know, for me to slowly walk around the corner and him predict me at this perfect angle. So, when you're peeking corners in this game, counter-strafing is one of the number one things you can learn. It's seriously, it's so important. Because you don't want to be a person that always just does this around corners. Like, you don't want to just walk around corners like this. Like, sprinting around corner is really, really important because you can move a lot quicker. It makes it a lot harder for people to hit you. But you got to learn how to counter-strafe so you can hit your first shot. You could also, like, add crouching into it. You see how, like, I'm sprinting around the corner, but all of my shots are all hitting right there? I can even do it without crouching. So if that was someone's head, even though I'm moving faster on the corner, it's still really accurate. But this is like some decent practice that you guys can do. If you do want to practice on your own, what you should do is, like, especially if you want to practice counter-strafing, just go around the maps and go to spots that are high playable spots. So this spot right here is very playable, right? Like, everyone starts at the beginning on defense here, and everyone on attack plays here. And what you can do is you just pick something. So, like, pick, like, that edge right there, like that bullet spot. So you can practice your counter strafing. When you go around the corner, just try and hit that every time. Like, practice like that's someone's head. You can do the opposite. So, like, just randomly on the map, be like, all right, so I'm going to shoot the left side of that frog's eye. That's what I want to hit. That's someone's head. So I'm counter strafing around the map. I'm going to try and hit that every time. You can even, like, change your crosshair movement. But you always have that one spot you want to shoot at. So you can, like, do it up here. Let's just say, hypothetically, you're on attack. Because you're going to be running into these situations a lot. If you're on attack, you want to peek this corner. Let's say that white little sign right there is someone's head. So you just want to practice, like, it also helps you learn the maps a lot. All the bullets went right there. See? Really good for practice. Who would stand there? It's not about who would stand there. It's about, like, you just picking a spot to aim at that you want to consistently shoot at. So, like, someone would stand right. Someone could stand right here. I mean, someone would stand here. This is definitely a playable spot. When you're on defense, you have a couple different angles. On height, you can keep peeking like this. Shooting this little, like, sign is just like a spot for you to aim. Like, really, you'd be shooting right here. But, you know, it's just a spot that is not a person that you can aim at. That's probably, I think, if I were to give tips, like 2 very important tips to people in Valorant that are new to the game or just not very good. It's learn crosshair placement, and it's learn counter strafing. Very, very important. Those two things. Those two things. And what I mean by crosshair placement is whenever you watch a new player, what do they do when they run around, chat? They go like this. They walk around the corner and they're like this. So like crosshair placement, what I'm talking to you, what I mean by this is always have your crosshair up at head level in a spot that you predict someone will be at. So when you're walking around the corner, just be like this. You know, upper level. You see how like my crosshair is constantly at a spot where I think they might be? Like always assume someone is where you're about to look. That's one of the biggest thing. Another thing where I talked about is counter strafing. That's when you're sprinting to the side, and if you want your crosshair to be accurate, you just strafe the opposite direction and stop. So it's like I'm moving to the right, I'm sprinting. I'm holding D to move to the right. If I want to stop and get my crosshair to shoot accurate, I'm just going to let go of D and I'm going to hit A. See? This is so I can peek a corner really quickly instead of going like this. Like this is really slow. This makes it a lot easier for someone to hit me. That's another thing. That's probably the third most important thing, is controlling your spray. So the best thing you can do for this, for practicing, is just, you know, pick a wall, take your hand off the keyboard, don't move the mouse, and shoot the gun. You see how the Valorant or the Vandal shoots? It starts here, it goes up, then it goes left, then it goes right, then it goes left, then it goes right, then it goes left, then it goes right. That's the pattern. So what you want to do typically is you want to have your crosshair at head level, and then you pull down a little bit, and then after you shoot that much, you usually just let go. Like, you know, let's be real, you can't really control a left-right spray that accurate. Maybe you can get good enough to control it, maybe I'm just shitty, but I usually just control as much as possible to get that many shots off. So it's pretty easy, to be honest. You usually just pull down. For the most part, you just pull down. Maybe a little bit to the right. Let's see. Okay, so you pull down a little bit to the right. Because the first thing your spray does is it goes upward left. So if you pull down and then aim a little right, the shots that are supposed to go left, since you're pulling right, it'll still go center. So pull down a little bit, then pull a little bit to the right, and then stop shooting or whatever. If you have to keep shooting, then you keep pulling to the left. But it's hard to, if you overcompensate, if your shot starts going left and you're pulling left, then you're gonna go like this. You're gonna go like that, because if it's going left already, then you pull left again, it's gonna be like that. It's all about countering the recoil control, or spray pattern, I mean. Do we crouch spray, or does that matter? That's one of the things I'm not too sure, because like I didn't play CS. This is all information that I'm just picking up as I go, which is very important still. But I think crouch shooting is good, and I was told that crouch shooting it happens a lot, but I don't think it happens as much as you really think. Crouching is good for getting your crosshair to be your shots to be more accurate, because you're stopping your movement. It slows your movement. And you see, like, watch, let me show you. You see how, you see the black dots around my crosshair, right? That shows the inaccuracy of my shots. So if I'm standing still, this is my crosshair. My shots are pretty accurate. If I'm moving, that's my shots. If I'm crouching, that's my shots. You see how the difference between moving and crouch moving? It's a little bit more accurate. Just a little bit. So it helps a little bit. But I think a problem with crouching is that if, let's say you're fighting someone one-on-one and they go to aim at your body, like most gamers will, let's be real, like most gamers that play this game, they're going to aim at the body, because not everyone is a CSGO pro, not everyone's a Valorant pro, not everyone is insane at this game accuracy-wise. Most people aim for the body. So if you go to crouch, where's their crosshair going to be? If they're aiming at your body and you crouch, they're gonna shoot you in the fucking forehead. Is that you can't shoot while running. obviously. So what I was doing was I was just crouching. As soon as I saw someone, I was just crouching, because when you crouch, it slows your movement. It also makes your shots a little bit more accurate. Because look at the difference between this and this. You see the difference, how much more accurate it is? This is just random bullets, but this, a little bit more accurate. So at the very beginning level, like if you're just getting into the game, hitting crouch can help you a lot. All right, so watch what happens when I'm sprinting, I'm running. And now watch what happens when I'm walking. What was the difference, chat? What was the difference? No sound. Really important. Watch what happens when I walk and I take the zip and then I sprint. So I'm walking, taking the zip, quiet, sprinting, making noise. So you could walk, take it, no noise, and if I sprint while I'm on the zip, it still makes the noise. This is really important because you don't want people to hear you sometimes when you're going up the zip. Let's say they planted the bomb and you're trying to get into A, and there's a guy playing here. Like, you don't want to sprint up the zip and give him the noise, because then he's gonna peek and shoot you as you're going up. So you want to go down the zip, maybe. Wait. Also, you hear that? That's another important tip. Watch what happens when you walk off the ledge. They can hear that. If anyone's in that room over there, or anyone's in that room, they can hear that. So what you can do is you walk, you take the zip down, you let go of it, you take the zip up, you let go of it. I made no noise. But what a lot of people will do is they'll sprint into this room, they'll drop off, that's noise, they'll walk up, they'll sprint up the zip, that's another noise. And also, b-hopping, it's, as far as I know, it's only helpful in this game for jumping through Sage's slow ability. I think that's the primary thing for it. I haven't figured out if it's like really helpful for, if it's actually super necessary. I think going around a corner might be a little bit helpful if you're trying to cross a corner that you, let's say you're forced to cross this corner right here, no matter what. Like, you're forced to run from here to here. You know, instead of sprinting across, it might be harder for them if you b-hop, because it'll make your body a little bit harder to you know, get shot at and get hit or get headshot. So that is a benefit of b-hopping. But you can do that with spacebar. You don't have to have your keybind on mouse wheel. My flash is my left mouse click, and my stun is my other mouse click. And the reason I do this, I put all of my keybinds on my mouse like that, is because I'm not going to be shooting when I'm using my abilities. So it's no problem if I have to take my thumb off the side of my mouse to click an ability, or take my middle finger and use my mouse wheel, or use my index finger on my mouse wheel. It's fine. And I want to focus my keybinds on my keyboard with my left hand. This is my left hand, by the way. I have inverted camera. My keyboard hand, I want it to be only on movement. But my fingers are always on WASD. My pinky is on shift, so I can sprint whenever I want. And my thumb can either crouch or it can jump. And then my primary is Q, and my secondary is E, and my knife is C. How's that your left hand? I have an inverted camera too, so I have it showing the gameplay, towards the gameplay. This is my right hand. This is my left hand. My keyboard is over here. My mouse is right here. It's just inverted on the camera. Positioning is holding angles where you only have to hold one angle at a time, but you have options for others. And what I mean by that is, let's go to the A bomb point. So let's say you are, you plant the bomb and you're right. You have the bomb right here, and you're holding near the point. There's a lot of different angles you can hold here. So this one is pretty good, because you can watch a lot of different stuff, and you have cover behind this this thing. Let's say a bad player, after they plant the bomb, they'll hold like right they'll hold like right here. They'll hold like right here. So the reason this spot is really bad is because, yeah, you do have cover, but the problem is you can watch this, but you don't really have line of sight up here. So if someone just walks out of the window and walks up above you, like, the only thing you can really do about it is constantly turn around and look up. But if you try and back up and peek it, you're open to die from there, you're open to die from there, or if someone's already out, then they can shoot you from different angles. So positioning is really important because you want to have spots that you can defend, but also not be vulnerable to other spots at the same time. So a strong spot, you know, this might not be the strongest spot, but this is just for an example. If you plant the bomb right here and you're holding this, you can kind of control that angle. You can control this angle. And whenever you're like going to support this angle, no one else can shoot you. If you want to move against the wall, you can re-peek right here and you can see that angle. And if you want to go over here, you can peek this. So that way, you want whatever angle you're peeking, you always have safety from the other angle. Like, the only way someone's going to be able to kill you from one side or the other is if they peek like for like 4 seconds and move around a corner. And if you're constantly moving back and forth, they can't just, like, you know, if they sprint, you're going to hear them. If they're walking, you're going to be able to time yourself well enough to where you can see them walking toward you. They can wallbang that. It's true. They can wallbang this. This is what I'm saying. This might not be the best spot. This is just an example I'm using to where you can control different angles without giving line of sight of other angles. You can also, like, wide swing like this. And also another movement tip. You move quicker with your knife, guys, than you move with your gun. You see how I move quicker with my knife than I move with my gun? This is important. Obviously, if you're running, if you're going across the map, you want to pull out your knife if no one is near you. Like, if you know for sure that there's 4 people that are at B and they all planted the bomb and no one else is anywhere on the map, obviously I want to have my knife out and I want to be running to get to the other side of the point. Another thing is, if you're... Watch the mini-map right here, guys, at the top left. You see how I'm walking and you see my character and it shows like that little light in front of me? Whenever stuff is happening in that light, like if you see if a bomb is down and I'm looking at it, it'll show that on the minimap. It'll show the bomb. If I'm not looking at the bomb, if I'm looking at the wall, it won't show the bomb. So if I peek, it'll show the bomb. If it's down on the minimap, now it won't. So my teammates can't see it. But that's the tip I was trying to get to, is that watch what happens when I sprint. Look at the minimap. Do you guys see the little circle on the minimap? What do you guys think that means? This is the sound of how far someone can hear you when you're running. So if you know for sure that someone is right, let's say they're at the zip line.
Right there.
You heard them coming or something. They're at the zip line or someone called it out, and you're over here, and you want to try and wrap around. So they're right here at the zip line, and you want to wrap around. You can run. And you know they won't be able to hear you because you can see on the minimap where your circle is that's making noise. And if they're there, then the circle gets toward them and you stop running. Just like I said, you run faster with the knife compared to running with the gun. What you can do, if you're in this position, for example, and you have the bomb down, you can peek with your knife just to get information. If you think there might be a guy up top, you just peek with your knife real quick just to get information. Because it's faster than peeking with your gun. And if he's like watching right here and he's trying to shoot you, if you peek with your knife, you're not trying to shoot him back. All you're trying to do is get information. You just go like this, just to get information. If you know he's there, then maybe you can consider doing like a counter straight peek to shoot him. But remember, information is king. Information is always the most important thing in competitive play. So you can peek with your knife instead of peeking with your gun. Because it's faster and it's less likely for you to die if you're just trying to get information. Do we need to 180 and one swipe in Valorant? You do. If you're shooting someone and you're getting flanked, you're gonna have to... That wasn't 180, obviously, but you're gonna have to learn how to do 180s, because if you're in a 1v2 situation and there's no way you can get out of fighting both of them, let's say they push you at the same time, and you kill this guy, you might have to 180 real quick and then kill that guy immediately after. 180 is pretty important. That's why you need to get a sense that is good enough for you to do a swipe to the right, to do a consistent 180 every time. I'm probably going to have to increase my sense, not because I can't do 180s, but because if I were to ever play at LAN, when you play at LAN, like right now, I have an arm length worth of mouse pad, like a pretty fucking long distance, like 3 fucking feet. At LAN, you have like a 1.5 feet or a foot. You know, you don't have that much space. So if I go like this, I'm probably gonna send my teammate to the hospital because I'm gonna break his fucking arm. If I try and swipe and do a 180, I'm gonna knock my teammate out. We're gonna be down a man. We're gonna have to try and 4v5 every single round. Every time I have to do a 180, I'm gonna give my teammate a concussion, and you know we're gonna lose. What is LAN? LAN is like when you're playing a tournament in person. Like if I'm playing at TwitchCon in person at a table, and I have all my teammates next to me, you don't have a lot of space. It's just never. Is there ever been a LAN where you have space, chat? For some reason, like esports, it's like the most important thing. You need your own fucking space to play, and they give you these little like airplane seats, and you're like this. Yo, they're CT. They're rapid. They're on zip. And you're like tucked up like this. You're like shoulder to shoulder. You like never have space. Crouch jumping. Sometimes there's spots in this map, especially when you use like boosting abilities. Like if you're playing Raze, the new character Raze. If you C4 the ground, can I change my character by the way? Is that possible? No, it's not. If you C4 the ground, it can boop you up in the air, like just like Jet has like a lift ability. On Raze, if you C4 the ground, you can boost yourself from there. Sometimes the boost isn't enough to get you to where you want to go. Like you'll boost up and then you'll just go like this and you'll fall back down. But what you can do is you can jump with the boost, and then if you crouch, it'll make your character smaller, so it'll pick you up just enough to where you can get onto the ledge. So like this. Like you jump and then you crouch. So does that make sense, chat? So with the boost, when you crouch, your character's a little bit smaller, so your legs can get on the ledge. It's kind of like if you're in the gym and you're trying to jump up onto a thing. Let's see. So this guy right here, he's standing here and he's trying to jump on top of this ledge right here. Watch what happens to his body when he jumps up. He jumps up, he's max verticality from feet to bottom, and then watch what he does. He pulls his body closer together with his feet. And you see how small he is? This is like jump crouching in Valorant. So he jumped in there, he's getting small, he's crouching, then he gets on the platform, and then he stands up. I love that this example is so fucking good for explaining jump crouching in a video game. It's actually perfect. All right, so that's all those things for jumping, movement, all that stuff. Last general tip I'll give you guys is about buying. It's gonna be a pretty basic one. Once you get into the middle of the game, let's say round like 5 or whatever, you know, round 5 to 10, a very general tip is that you want to use this up here. It says minimum next round. It means if no matter what, if I don't buy anything else next round, I'll have $12,000. If I get kills or bomb plant, then obviously I earn more. But if I just die at the beginning and I don't do anything, I'll have that much money at the beginning of next round. A very, very general tip is that you want to buy until you have 3,900 left. And the reason I say 3,900 is because the Vandal is 2,900 and the armor is 1,000. So if you have 3,900 left, you can buy an armor and you can buy a Vandal. And that's like doing a full buy almost. Very general tip. It's not always right every round. It's not, you know, it's just a very, very basic general tip for a new player. You can save till you just buy until you have 3,900. You could also do it until you have 3,300. Because then you can buy a light armor and a Vandal. But, you know, typically you want to have full armor over a light. Almost has the Vandal and the Phantom. So these are the two best guns in the game. The reason the Vandal is better is because, if you didn't know, the Vandal and the Phantom are basically the exact same gun. They're the same price. They pretty much do exactly the same thing, but they're a little bit different based on versatility of your playstyle or character choice. The Vandal, if you look at the right, Let's see if I can show this somehow. If you look at the right, it has the damage numbers, right? The damage numbers is 39 body, 156 to the head, which is a one shot. Even if they have armor, it's a one shot. 33 to the leg, 0 to 50 meters. It shoots 8.32 seconds or rounds per second. The Phantom does almost the same thing, but it has a faster fire rate, 9.9 rounds a second, so it's better, has a faster fire rate, so it's better up close. Between 0 and 15 meters, it does 39 to the body, the same as the Vandal, does 156 to the head, same as the Vandal, 33 to the leg, same as the Vandal, but it's only up to 15 meters. It's only up to 15 meters. So if you are 15 to 30 meters or 30 to 50 meters, you can't one-shot someone in the head. Alt fire? Oh, that's oh, my bad. Yeah, I read the wrong thing. So like the fire rate of the Phantom is 11 rounds per second for primary fire, 9.25 for the Vandal. The point is, the Phantom shoots quicker. It has a faster fire rate, and it does the same amount of damage, 0 to 15 meters. So the Phantom is strictly better than the Vandal, up to 15 meters. It's just better. There's no other way to, compare it. It even has a higher magazine capacity. It has 30 bullets instead of 25. But once you get to 16 to 50 meters, that's when the Vandal is typically better, because the Vandal can one-shot people. And in high level like pro play, you're always going to see people buying Vandal because you need to be able to one-shot someone at higher than further than 16 meters. Because a lot of fights will happen further than 16 meters or 15 meters. So if you play a character that, is always close range, if you play very aggressive, like Omen maybe, then maybe Phantom is your gun of choice. But if you try to take a long distance fight or even like a medium range fight, you might lose, because if you headshot him with the Phantom and he headshots you with the Vandal at 20 meters, you're not going to kill him, but he's going to kill you. Make sense? This is what I love so much about the balancing on the guns, is that both these guns are the same price and they're balanced so well. It's just versatility. That's one of the things that pissed me off so much about Apex, is Apex just had a straight tier list of stuff. It was like, these guns are the best. Then depending on which gun you picked up, it was just worse and worse and worse and worse. It was never like, oh, this gun's good for this situation and this gun's good for this situation. It was just like, oh, R99, best gun in the game, I'm picking it up. PK, best shotgun, best secondary in the game, picking it up. There was never like a situation like, oh, maybe I should use EVA 8, it could be better here. It's like, dude, you just pick up the PK. It's insane. Yeah, that's the tip on buying and stuff.